And yeah, that's pretty much sums up this session. This is the last session of our workshop, and I hope this will be the best session as well. So we'll be starting with Samrit will be starting with teaching you the when which we will resume from the last session. Continue now.
Okay. So the last we left, I think we had completed moving around. We had completed the different modes, at least the normal and insert mode, and and yeah. So now I will come on some basic commands. Okay, so first of all, just to recap, moving, use the H, J, K, and L keys to move around. Okay, and the parentheses keys, Shift 9 and Shift 0 to move around by one sentence, and the curly braces to move around, to move front and backward by a whole paragraph. Okay, and then 0 is to move to move to the beginning of the line. So 0 will move to the beginning. Dollar, which is Shift 4, will move you to the end, and caret, the caret key, which is Shift 6, will move you to the first non-white space character. I think this was what we did last time. So X acts as a delete key, and Shift X, which is capital X, is basically the backspace key. So you can delete stuff. If I press DD, it goes away. If I press P to paste it, it comes back. So P is the command to paste it. Do I have it here? So yeah, P is the command to paste anything. So I can use DD to delete this line from here. I can come to the end of the document by typing capital G. Okay, I can then place type P to paste it here. So you can move around, move files. I can 0 and then P. So say I have to. So one thing I'll show you how Vim speeds up your workflow. Say if you need to copy line number 5 to the end of the document, how would you normally do it? You will go to line number 5. You will select the whole line. You will press Ctrl X. You will scroll back to the end of the file, and you will press Ctrl V. With Vim, you can do it much faster. How? So first of all, in normal mode, we type colon to enter the command mode. To enter a command, we press and we type the line number to go to that line. So I press line number 5. Line 5 is empty. Let's do line 15, which is also empty. Okay. So if we go to line 16, I can just then press DD, which will cut the line. I can press capital G. I can press 0 to go to the end of the line, and then I can press P and it will copy the line at the end. So this is, I'm explaining this, but you can do it very quickly. 0 and then P. So a complex, anything which would be very complicated to do with a mouse can be done very quickly and in a shorter amount of time using Vim, because the shortcuts are very powerful. So I covered deleting a line. You can also delete a word. So as you guys know, W is the W key moves one word forward. So pressing the D key and then the W key will delete a whole word. So basically now the word, and I can then paste that word in. So deleting is when you use the D key to delete anything, it gets cut. It acts as a Control X, so it goes to the clipboard and you can paste it wherever you want. Increase the size. Yeah. So say this word, I want to delete it and paste it at the end of the line. I'll press DW 0 and P. Sorry, DW. Wait. The start of the line. DW. Okay, now my cursor is at the start. I can press DW dollar and then P, and I can paste it to the end. So I told you, like, you can chain commands very quickly to make it fast. DW shift 4 P. So I can, so pasting stuff is very easy. I can press B to go to the start of this word, press DW to copy it, go to line number 35, go to the end of the line and then paste it. And everything without leaving the keyboard, without moving my hand off the keyboard, without touching the mouse, in a few seconds. If I have to do this with the mouse, it will take me much longer. So that's what I was telling you last time also, that the power of Vim is you don't have to leave the keyboard and you can chain commands. You can do this stuff very quickly, And once you become like more experienced with this, it's very convenient to basically manipulate files. If manipulate simple files. If it's very complex, you might go to a GUI, but still. Okay, so now y. So the Y key is basically the yank key. Yank means you copy it. It goes to the clipboard and it also stays on the screen. So I can press YY to copy a line and then P to paste it. So I can copy this line. I can go to the end of the document by pressing G, go to the end and then just paste it. I can go to line 37. I can press YY to copy it. I can go to the start of the file. I can paste it there. Okay. And once you select a word, then you can press a single Y to copy that word. So now, how do you select words? So I told you about the normal mode, which I'm in right now, and the insert mode, in which you can type stuff. But there's another mode, which is the visual mode, which is used to basically select stuff. So I can press V, and now I'm in visual mode. You can see the little sign which says visual down here. And basically, now when I press the L key, which goes to the right, it will basically select everything. So I selected these words. Now I can press Y to copy them. Now, and you see, after I copy them, the visual mode, I'm out of the visual mode, and now I'm back into the normal mode. So I can type commands. I can go to line say 50, 55. I can go to the end and I can paste it there. So this is the visual mode. Basically, you press V to enter it, and then you can select whatever you want. And it works the same. Like all of the commands to move around work the same. So say I'm over here. I press V. I enter visual mode. Pressing W will select the next word, and pressing B will go one word back. So B, W, and E, these three keys work. The J key, the H key, the L key, and the H key, sorry, this was the K key, and the H key, they all work in the visual mode like the normal mode, but in visual mode you can select stuff. So I can just select this whole chunk of the document. I can press Y to copy it. I can press Shift G to go to the end. I can press Shift 4 to go to the end of this line, and then press P to paste everything down here. So as you see, the workflow is very simplified. And so this was one thing I did not cover last time: how to delete stuff, copy stuff, and paste stuff. After that, I think I covered this. Okay, yeah, saving files. So I've edited this file quite a lot. I've moved stuff around, and I want to save it. To save it, I need to be in the normal mode, and then I press colon, which is shift semicolon, to type a command, and then I can press W, which means write. So after pressing it, you can see it says session notes, 300 lines and this many bytes are written. So I've basically written the file has been saved, and now I can quit. I can press colon, then Q, and then quit. Okay, now, and these commands can be changed too. So say I delete this line and I paste it at the front over here. Okay, and now I want to save and quit. I can press colon WQ and it will save and quit. So it writes and then quits. Okay, and you see the changes have been saved. And there is another shortcut for saving for saving and quitting. You can press Shift Z and then another Z. Sorry, you have to be in command mode, I think. Yeah, so yeah, in normal mode you have to press Shift Z and then another Z, and it will quit and save and quit automatically. As you can see, when I press a single Shift Z, you can see this the Z character appear over here, which shows you that it's waiting for another character to be pressed for a compound command. Basically, not every command is a single key. So ZZ, this is not a command. Yeah. So after you press one Z, it's still waiting. I press another Z and it saves and quits the session, the Vim session. And after this, yeah, you can also save this file as another can basically use the save as command, enter the command mode, the normal mode, and enter a command save as, and you write a file. So home. So I will save this as test.txt. Let's see. So it has been written. I can now quit this. I can ls and see text.txt over there. I can again open test.txt, and you see this is my file. Okay, everything I copied and changed is here. Now, okay, there's some stuff about tabs. You can basically open multiple files in Vim, and they can be in separate tabs. Okay, I'll show you. So you can press the colon key, type a command, write tab E, and then which is tab edit. So edit a file in another tab, and then you type the name of the file. So session notes, and you see now I have two tabs. So over here you can see there is the text.txt file which I opened earlier, and the session notes file I opened using the tab E command. Now I can write something here in tab number 2, and I can save this. And now how do I change tabs? So pressing G, after I press G, you see the G character, small g character appears over here, which means it's waiting for another character. If I press T, it goes to the next tab. Okay. So okay, now I'm in the session notes tab. So I guess basically now I'm confused which tab. These I'm confused by these color names. Session. Okay, so now right now I'm in the text.txt tab. So okay, no, I was correct. So GT goes basically GT. You can press GT to switch between tabs, and G shift T to go to the previous tab. So I only have two tabs right now. Let me open another one, tab E, and you can, and even tab completion works. So in this command, I can press GT to move to the next tab. You can see, and G shift T to move to the previous tab. Okay, and yeah, and I think we covered this in the last session. The U key is to undo stuff, and Control R is to redo stuff. Okay, so what we have covered, yeah, we've covered basically opening files in tabs. Okay, another thing, let me just quit all of these files. Okay, now I have 3 files, and let's say I need to edit all of those together in tabs. So I can do Vim, then -P, and session notes.1 and test.txt, and these will be opened in tabs, and I can switch tabs with GT and basically edit each file however I want. I can save this one, go to the previous tab, go to line number 50, do anything. So as you see, it's very easy to, and I'm saying this again, it will speed up your workflow if you get good at it, but the learning curve can be steep, and you will have to basically like suffer a bit at the beginning. Now another thing you can do from basically just the command tab in normal mode is you can press the backslash key, the forward slash key. Now when you press it, you see like the colon key appears over here, the slash key also appears down here, which means now you are typing, you are giving something, giving basically a command at the bottom, so it's, you're not moving around the file anymore, and whatever you type here, say let's say I type URGON. So wherever you can see ergon in this file, it will get highlighted, and when I press enter, the highlights will stay there. So basically you will see it has highlighted everywhere it could find that string I've entered at the bottom. Now say I need to remove these highlights, I can just type a command called noh, and it will remove the highlighting. Okay, and now so this was searching, so you press the slash key and search for anything, it will get highlighted, and it will get, and to remove highlighting you press noh. Now searching and finding is one thing, the most common thing we do is replacing stuff. So if I need to replace anything, there are two types of replacements. I can either replace things on the current line. So let me see. So now I can type the command key, then S, okay, which is basically string replacement. Now I can, after the slash, I can write anything. I can say write 2. Okay, it will highlight, and you can see it only highlights the 2 string I've given on the current line. It doesn't highlight any of the others. Why? Because I've given colon S, and colon S replaces strings on the same line. So after this, I can type, let's say, from, and when I press enter, it changed the first from, it didn't change the second one. So I'll basically have to do this again. Why is this not working? Okay, sorry, I changed my line. I was on a different line. Okay, so there's this. Here's where I change it to, and I can change this to from. See, so now in these by these two commands, I've changed both the twos to froms. Okay, now to replace basically every occurrence, you can use %s. So after the colon key, you give a command %s, and you give the string, say, let's say 2, or let's do something else. Let's replace all the li's, all the list element stuff, with, let's say, gibberish. Okay, now you can see it made 206 substitutions. So wherever I had opening li tags, they are now converted to, say, my made up gibberish tag, and I can do this again. I can convert them back to li, and it has again made 206 substitutions. So searching and replacing can also be done in basically a couple of key presses, and you don't have to, basically, if I have to do this, do the same over here, I have to press Control F, then I have to move my cursor over here, then I have Control R, I think, Control H, and then I have to type something, and then I have to move my mouse to these commands. It has shortcuts, but with Vim, you can basically, you don't even have to touch the mouse. You can just type something, and it will just replace it everywhere, wherever you want it to be. And you can just type no h, the command no h, to remove the highlighting. So any doubts up till now? We have done searching and replacing, and cutting, pasting stuff, copying and pasting stuff.
So now you know how to work with Vim. All the commands he was like Samit talked about everything. Now let's simplify Vim a bit. Whenever you open a file, let's say, like if you're coming from a code editor background, you're coming from VS Code or something, you will have this. Let's just open a file. I'll just open a long file. Yeah. Okay. So when we open a file, you don't see the line numbers here, right? But you can easily get the line numbers by going into the command mode, and then just type set, then number, then you will see the line numbers. But if you quit again and then open the file again, you'll see the line numbers have vanished. So you typically don't want this, because if you are like coming from a VS Code background or any code editor background, you generally have the line numbers attached to your code files. Also, you don't see the name of the file anywhere in the what do you say, this interface. This is just your terminal interface, but you don't see which file I have opened currently. So let's customize this a bit, so that you can do it here by going to the command mode, then typing last status equals to, okay, all right, let's customize it this a bit, so that we can see all these details permanently stored into our whenever you open a file, we should see all these stuffs here. So first of all, go to, if anyone is following along, just go to your home directory, which is your tilde directory, and in this directory, just create a file called, we are creating a hidden file which is called vimrc. So basically, all RC files are configuration files. So here we are actually creating configuration file for our Vim. So after you're done with that, open the file. Now let's just do it. Yeah. So let's press double quotes for a comment. Now let's type a comment. What do you say? Show line numbers always. So whenever we open a file, we should see the line number. So after you give the double quote, it's a comment. So after that, just type the command which is associated with it. So the command is set number. So it's done. Now then let's do one more thing. Let's see the what do you say, the file name. So for that, let's do this set status bar at bottom always, and then give the command which is set last status equals 2. All right. So now, as of now, we have done these two customizations. Now let's save this file. Go into command mode, X or write whatever you feel like. Then yeah, we have saved. Now let's open the file again. Now you'll see whenever you open a file, you will already have this line numbers attached to it. So now it's been customized forever, and you can see the in the bottom line you have the name of the file here. So it's really helpful, right? So whenever you are coming from a code editor background, this is really helpful. So this was our customization part. So you can like there are tons of customizations you can do with Vim. So you can always, I will just provide you links like of the official Vim documentation where you can see you can add much more commands here and set aliases, etc. Everything you can do it here. This is your basically this is your configuration file. So whatever you do here, it will be already it will be like set forever. To anything you open in Vim will obey these orders. So yeah, as of now we can do this. Should we need anything now? Anything else? No. Okay. This was the basic customization. Now let's go to the plugin part. So plugins in Vim are basically like the Vim which comes in your default version doesn't have if you're like easy to type code. Like if you are coming from code background editor, you should have seen whenever you just let's open a file and see whenever you are writing open like you're opening a bracket, it should always close a bracket for you. So but in Vim that doesn't happen, so you have to do it all from your own. And believe me, like as you get started with coding and do everything, it will be a habit to do it everything. But just taking a what do you say, a normal person's point of view, we should have these features. Like if you're opening a bracket, it should all automatically close and etc. And it should also give you indentation, etc. So for all these features, you have plugins for Vims. So if you want to use some additional features on your on top of your current Vim settings, you can use a plugin. So for that, we have the plugins. Now let's see how to install a plugin. So for this tutorial, I'm just showing you how to install this auto pair plugin, which is basically, I'll just show you here. Yeah, so this is the author of the plugin, and we have this auto pairs which automatically closes your brackets or just opens everything quotes, double quotes. So as you have seen, it's not in the Vim, but we have to install it. So you can search for many other plugins also. Just in GitHub, you just type Vim plugins and just do all GitHub. Yeah, you should get, there are like tons of plugins which you want. You can do as whatever you like, you can just install it. So we'll just show you how to install a plugin and how to use it so that you can go ahead and install everything as you use it. So let's go back to here. Now after you've selected your plugin, just okay, before that we need a plugin manager. A plugin manager basically simplifies your works to install plugin. So the plugin manager which you'll be using is called Vim plug. So through this manager only will install all the plugins. Like if you are using 15 plugins, you just have to type one command which will install all them instead of going individually to all the plugins and installing them. So for that we need this Vim plug. So to install this, just go to this repository and you'll see this command. So if you're running Vim, which we are running Vim and we are in Unix like Linux, so this is the command to install this what do you say, the Vim plug manager. But if you are on Windows, you can go with this command. And if you use Neo Vim, which is basically the GUI type of Vim, you can go with this. But as of now, if you are following along with us, this command should be working for you. So I'll just run this command in my home directory. Okay, now it's installing the plugin manager, which is the Vim plug, and you can see it's successful. So it has installed the plugin manager. All right, now let's do one thing. Let's create a file called dot vim rc dot plug. So this is basically our plugin manager file, a plugin configuration file. Like dot vim rc file is just the Vim customization, and dot, you can see this dot vim rc dot plug. So this is basically we're using it for customizing our like the plugins. So let's start. The first line you should be writing here is we are just calling the plugin method. So basically we're just doing plug. Okay, plug hash begin, and then let's do this dot slash. Okay, not dot. Tilde slash dot vim dot plugged. All right. Now let's close this. Yeah. So basically what we are doing here is we're calling the plugin which you have downloaded, the Vim plugin manager. We're just calling the method of that plug, which is the begin method, and we're providing it a path. So after you have done this, now you can just list as many plugins that you want to install. For example, I want to just type the plug keyword first and then do double quotes. Then I want to, for example, I want to install, I'll just add a comment so that you can follow along. Just list all your plugins here down. So now let's do the plug. Now do some pair of quotes. Now if you want to install this plugin, the auto pairs plugin, just copy this. Okay. Oh shit. One sec. Let's just copy this name. Yeah. Basically the author and the name of the repository. Now paste it up here. Just adjust a bit. All right. So now you have listed this plugin here. Now just end the method. Call plug, then end. That's it. Parenthesis. Now your Vim RC plug should be this. Should be it. So basically, we're starting the plug method, we're ending the plug method, and inside the plug this method, we're listing all the plugins. For example, you want to install one more plugin or like infinite more plugins, we can just do plug. Then I'll just do one more plugin. Let's see. Vim plugins. Okay, not in this repository. It's all GitHub. For example, yeah, this one, nut tree. You want to install this plugin for Vim. Just go ahead and copy this thing, then paste it here. Just modify it just to be in one line. Then if you want to do more plugins, just do that plugin and then the name of plugin, etc. Just go on. This is your list basically. So after you've done with this, just save the file. So just to show you that this is the .vimrc.plug file, which is the configuration for our plug, and our .vimrc, which is just the configuration for our Vim. Just open that and let's call this file from here. So just go to the end, then set a comment that we want to call our plugin configuration from this file. Okay. Now let's just call just no, not call actually, basically source. So let's do slash dot vim, basically the path vimrc dot plug. Yeah, now it should be good to go. So basically this is the Vim, whenever you open a Vim file, the Vim always looks to this file, which is the .vimrc. So inside this .vimrc, we are making a call to the vimrc.plug, which has the plugin configurations. So I hope it's clear. Now if we are done with this, just save this, and now just open up any file, which is maybe this one, anything you want to open. Now you can see, now if you'll see, I'll just do the insert mode and I will create a bracket. It won't work. Yeah, you see it's working because I've installed it. So for this, because if you're doing it for the first time, what you need to do is just go to the command mode, press colon, and just type this command, plug install. Plug install. So you'll see it's already installed because I've already installed them. But for you, I can just let's just press Q to quit out of that window. Let's go to the command mode again and just do plug clean. Okay, it's already clean. Yeah, because I've installed it, this is the problem. But if you are doing it for the first time following along, you have to just use this command, which is the colon plug install command, and you should be seeing that it's installing both of these. Like I have used two plugins, if you remember. One was the auto pairs and one was the nut tree plugin. So you'll see that installing on the plugins for you. So after it's done, it will say you this, that finishing and done. So after you see this is done, just press Q to quit out of that window. If you quit out of the window, we'll have this. Now if you want to just open a bracket here, just go to insert mode, open a bracket, you'll see it is automatically closing. If you want to curly brace, it's automatically closing. If you can see also the indentation is following along. If you are opening a single quote, it's already closing for you. Double quote, it's already closing for you. So this is a helpful plugin which I found, and if you want to explore plugins on your end, you can also do that. So I said you the procedure to do this. Now, for example, just quit this and just open it again. Now you can see we have this numbers of the lines predefined. We have the name of the file. We have some plugins which are does some of our work for us, which is opening files and closing. Now let's say you want to delete a plugin or you want to upgrade a plugin. So for that, go to the command mode. Just type plug update. Plug update. This will update both of your plugins. Like if you have 15 plugins here, it will upgrade all of your plugins. So now you must be realizing the essence of this Vim plug manager which we installed first. We using this curl command. So basically, these are just the commands for this Vim plug, and it's if you just type plug upgrade, it will update all of your plugins at once instead of like in the other case you should have gone through each of the plugins and updated it. So it's time taking. So in this way, you can update the plugin, and after it's done, you can press Q to quit out of it. Now let's say you want to update this plugin manager as well, which is here, this Vim plug. So if you want to update this manager, just do plug upgrade. Now you'll see it's writing Vim plug is already updated, but let's just type this again. You'll see plug upgrade. It's downloading the latest version of Vim plug. So it's already up to date. So yeah, if you want to upgrade your Vim plug, which is your manager, just do plug upgrade. If you want to upgrade your plugins, which individually you have installed, just do plug update. Now don't worry about this. Remembering these commands will provide you a cheat sheet soon in our website, so you can always follow along. But just to understand the concept of it, you can follow this. Now, for example, you want to delete a plugin. So for that, just quit out of it. Now again, go to our vimrc.plug, which is our configuration file for plug. Now just yeah, remove this. For example, you want to delete the nerd tree plugin. Just remove this plugin from this list. Then save the file. And yeah, you can even you don't need to open any particular file. You can just do it anywhere. If you want to just open that same file again, and also you can do in the command prompt. Now you can just type plug clean. This will clean all your like everything which you have uninstalled. So now it's showing directories to delete: home, belishio.vim.plug, nerdtree. So if you remember, we like deleted this nerdtree plugin from the list. So now it's asking us that do you want to uninstall this? So we'll just go ahead and press Y here, delete all directories, just press Y, and then you'll see it's removed one directories. So now press Q out of it. Now you'll see we don't have the nerdtree plugin. Okay, I'll just show you this example also. Let's delete this auto pairs plugin also. Just delete it. Now press control, like whatever is your command, WQ or X slash, then just save the file, open it again. Now just do plug clean again to uninstall it. Yeah, we're going to uninstall this plugin. Just type Y. Yeah, it's removed. Press Q to quit out of it. Now if you just open your file again, and if you want to, for example, make you're opening a bracket again here, you'll see it's not auto completing it for you because we uninstalled the plugin. So yeah, I hope this was clear, the procedure of installing plugins and using them. Now we can go to customization. Samrit, you can start.
Yeah, okay. So for customization, currently we're only covering GNOME. So if you're on KDE or anything else, you will have to check up on that yourself. Because I use GNOME and I'm more comfortable with that, and because I have my own resources for customizing GNOME, so that's what I can show you the best. So okay, so what is GNOME? So first of all, let me give you a primer on what a desktop environment and that stuff is. Linux is, as you guys may know, it's just, we've told you that it's just a kernel. Okay, everything everything graphical you see is not actually Linux itself. Okay, it's other open source software which have been added to Linux to create a whole distribution. And one of the main things a distribution has is basically a desktop environment. Okay, wait, okay, I should not have done that. Wait. Okay, wait, it works. Okay, so you can see this is my system information, and you can see my OS, the complete distribution is Fedora Linux. 36. Okay, the kernel is another part, and this is the part which is actually Linux technically. And you can see there are a lot of other things, but you can see something called a DE and a WM. Okay, now a WM is a window manager. A window manager is what basically manages your windows. It opens and closes. It's the basic stuff. But a desktop environment is basically everything and a window manager. It's kind of a superset you can imagine. A desktop environment basically handles everything graphical to do with the machine. So my desktop environment is GNOME 42. Okay. So what is GNOME? GNOME is basically the GNU project's own desktop environment. You may know what the GNU project is. A lot of a lot of the extra stuff in Linux distributions comes from the GNU project, which is why they also call Linux like GNU/Linux or GNU plus Linux or whatever. So I use GNOME. So what is GNOME? It's a desktop environment. It handles everything to do with the graphical utilities as I've shown. Now my system looks the way it looks because I've customized it a lot. If I switch off all the extensions I've included, you can see this is how it originally looked. Okay, I can change some stuff. Okay, this is how vanilla GNOME actually looks. Vanilla basically means without any other toppings. It's the basic thing. So this is how it looks. You can see the dock is at the bottom. There is a top bar, and when I exit this mode, there is no dock at the bottom. There is no taskbar. You can't even see your open applications. Okay, there's an activities button at the top. The date menu, I don't know where it is. I think my customizations broke something. And there is here is the system menu, and a lot of stuff is missing from the system menu. Let me just switch my extensions on for a second. Now you can see how it changes. There are a lot of extra icons at the bottom. The menu is more complicated. I can change the volume per, depending on the application. If I had more than one application, I can do that. I can connect to my smartphone. So this is basically this menu shows the connection to my smartphone, and any notification I get on my phone, I will get on my machine. So that's something you can add using extensions. And you can see I can select the audio output. I only have one right now, my headphones, but you can change that stuff. So these are the extensions I've installed. So you can see you can customize it a lot. So let me take you through some of the basic ones that I use. The first is dash to panel. Okay, so if I go to my extensions and search dash to panel and I remove it, let's see what happens without dash to panel. Dash to panel, basically the normal view and the normal way GNOME works is basically the top bar shows you the basic state of the machine, and when you enter into the activities overview, then you see the dock, then you can see the open applications and the pinned applications and whatever, but you can't always see them. Okay, and so this is the way GNOME actually works. This is the way vanilla GNOME works. Now I don't like this. Okay, I am more used to Windows and I want to emulate that, and I want to always see a taskbar at the bottom. I want a start menu. I want everything. So in my extensions, I can switch on dash to panel. The app stopped working, which happens sometimes. I can switch on dash to panel, and you can see this basically combines the dock and the top bar and creates and makes a panel, which is the taskbar, which we call it in Windows. As you can see, when I enter the activities overview, the top bar is missing, the temporary dock is missing, and everything is in this taskbar. Okay, so now if you guys want to install this, how do you? Let me show you some more. Yeah, burn my windows is a very fun one. So opening and I can basically include custom animations while my windows are opening and closing. So let's try this matrix one. Okay, so opening Windows is now a matrix animation. When I open my Files app, you can see this is what happens. So it's a lot of fun. Normally I use the TV effect one, which basically whenever you open something, let's open Visual Studio Code. It doesn't open on its own right away. You can't. I think it's a bit too fast, so you won't be able to see it. But it's uh, an animation like how an old school TV closes. It basically collapses into a single line. So, and I can choose. Let's see something. Hexagons is a fun one. When I open VS Code, I have to remove this one. When I open WhatsApp, you could see the hexagons, right? Yeah, you saw those hexagons, right? So you can change a lot of stuff. You can add a lot of customizations. So now, how do you do this? First of all, go to Google Chrome and search for an extension called, or whichever browser you're using. I mean, Chrome is not the most fast and open source one, but I like it. GNOME extension, GNOME shell extensions. Yeah, so this is the website where you need to go, and this is how you install extensions. So you can see dash to panel. If you search dash to panel over here, this is one I have installed. You can go here, and for this to work, you need to install a browser extension, which is the GNOME shell integration. So yeah, this is it. GNOME shell integration. Your first step is to install this browser extension in your browser, so the website works. Okay, so after you add this, now you can go to extensions.gnome.org, and over here you can click on any extension, go to its page. It will automatically identify your GNOME version and everything, and if it's compatible, you will see an option to switch it on and off, So I just switch it off here. Now I can switch it on again. You can even access the settings from here. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. It usually does. But this, so you can browse extensions from uh, this website. So everything I use comes from here. So this is, so GS Connect extension list, everything you see. So this is the website where you want to go. Now for me, some things I use is dash to panel, as I showed you. Arc menu, yes, Arc menu. You see this Fedora icon over here. When I click it, it opens a start menu. Linux doesn't have a start menu. Like start menu is Windows terminology, right? So this is an Arc menu which emulates the start menu and gives me a start menu in Linux, and I can pin apps over here. I can say open Visual Studio Code. I can search for an app in Visual Studio Code. I can right click on it and pin it to Arc menu, and it will show up over here. Okay, and it gives you login and logout options. It gives you some shortcuts. So it's very useful, and I'm used to Windows. That's what I grew up with. So I use Arc menu and dash to panel to make it look a bit more Windows like. Then I have extension list. Okay, this puzzle piece you see, this will show me every extension I have currently installed. Okay, so I use this just to keep track of them without opening the extensions app on its own. Then there's lock keys. So currently you can see over here my numlock is on, but my caps lock is not. If I press the numlock key, it will just toggle it over here, and basically I can keep track of what caps lock and other keys are on in my system. And I have to do this because sometimes drivers may not work and my keyboard won't light up, and some, like my laptop keyboard doesn't have a numlock light on it. So sometimes if I'm typing a number on the numpad, I can't type it. Why? Because numlock was off. So this extension helps me a lot. And removable drive menu, which is basically this one, you can basically see all the mounted files and pen drive. So basically anything that is temporarily mounted, you can see here. And if you remember, temporary mounted files are usually automatically mounted in the /media directory under, so /media, then your username, and then you can see your pen drive. Or in my case, I have a partition on my hard disk which has my data. It's called SAM, and I have mounted manually, but it still shows up here. So this removable drive menu will show you any pen drive or hard disk drive attached to your computer. After that, user themes. Okay, this made a lot of sense before the current GNOME version. So, but user themes basically lets you add your own custom themes uh, for the window appearance and everything. So, see, you can see here, this is user themes. You can install themes from user directories. Okay, and this is not that useful now, because if you guys know, the current version of GNOME has some problems with theming. It's not as extensive as it used to be. Like if I was telling you this a month ago when I didn't have the current version, it would be a lot more in depth. But some stuff has been nerfed a bit. Okay, and System 76 power is not needed. So wait, I'll show you some more extensions. Some useful ones which I use. So tiling assistant. Whenever you snap a window to the left, no, okay, wait, let me turn this off. So when you snap a window, it just snaps, and if you want to snap another window to the side of it, you basically have to look through them. Okay. So what tiling assistant does, it emulates a Windows behavior. So on any Windows OS, Windows 10 or 11, when you snap something, you can see a little menu of all the other applications open on that specific page, desktop, and you can just select this one. So I can select the terminal. Okay, and so there are a lot of extensions. You can go through the website which I told, gnome.extensions.org, extensions.gnome.org, and you can basically go through them, try them out. Some of them may break some things temporarily, not permanently. So some things might be off, so you have to go through that because it's all open source. Anyone can put anything. You have to be a bit wary, but you can customize it and you can make it how you want it to be. So this is something which other proprietary systems do not let you do. So if you have ever tried customization on Windows, you basically have to install apps which actually break your system. Like if I want, on my Windows, I wanted to change the format of the date menu, and I had installed another app to change those settings, and after I installed that and I uninstalled that, my date menu was a bit uh, weird forever after that, because in Windows things change the registry settings for some things, and they edit some files which Windows doesn't expect you to edit, so it never fixes them, and basically it will break a system. I don't know about anything about Mac, but in Linux, customization is a big plus point. And if you're on GNOME, these extensions are a godsend. You can do a lot of things. And so yeah, this was just extra extensions. So apart from extensions, there is something else called GNOME tweaks. So GNOME tweaks, you can install this from the command line if you want. So I can do sudo dnf install GNOME tweaks. GNOME tweaks is basically adding some functionality to GNOME, which it should have, but it doesn't have. So vanilla GNOME doesn't come with this, but you can install this however you want. This will tell me that you already have it. It's already installed, but okay. GNOME tweaks basically has extra settings. So if I go to, okay, in general, you can see, do I want to suspend the laptop when the lid closes and stuff like that. So it's very basic. I don't know why GNOME doesn't have it on its own, but okay, in vanilla, if you guys have vanilla GNOME, you might notice there are no maximize and minimize buttons on the title bar. So you can change that from over here. So maximize and minimize button, you can toggle if you want them or not. If you don't want them, you can just remove them. Okay. And there's a lot of stuff. You can change what happens on click. On clicks, you can change how it scrolls. You can change a lot of stuff over here. So yeah, appearance is a big one. So you can, if you can see my cursor, it's not the default cursor. I can go back to the default cursor, and I don't know why it didn't change back. Yeah, it did change. I just had to. So yeah, if you can see my cursor right now, it looks quite a bit different. But you can add custom cursors, custom icon themes, and to a lesser extent, custom window themes. But window themes, I don't think you should do because of, as I said, the current version of GNOME doesn't support it that much. But icons and cursors you can change a lot. You see, as you can see, I use the Breeze X Dark cursor. This, I think it's the default cursor on KDE systems, and I like this one a lot. For icons, I use a theme called Papyrus. If I switch back to my original icon theme, you can see they look quite a bit different. This, if you can look at these icons, they look quite a bit different. I do not like this theme, so what I did, I downloaded an icon theme called Papyrus. I installed it, and if you can see my icons now, this, I prefer this theme to the default one. I think it's a lot more cohesive and a lot more, the colors are nicer. So for customization, three things you need to remember. First is GNOME tweaks. I'm putting this in the chat. GNOME tweaks comes from your package manager. You can get it from there, and it has some basic settings which GNOME should have. Then are extensions, for which basically you need to download the browser extension for GNOME. After downloading the browser extension, you can go to extensions.gnome.org and basically select any extension you want, and you can then use them. Okay, so even with these two things, you can customize your Linux system to such a degree that is unimaginable for any normal user or Windows or Mac OS user. So that's one of the best things about Linux. So I thought it was important to share with you guys. So that's a customization done. These are the two main things in customization. Anything else, or I think we can let them go ahead. Vilisha?
Yeah, I think this should be it. So this was totally about all the. This is like the conclusion of the workshop. We've covered starting from the scratch to about customizing your Linux to making it look however you want to, however you want, like. And in Windows you can't do anything. But in Linux you can make a startup like Windows. So that's it. So we have shown you customization. We have shown you how to deal with a good code editor, which is Vim, and then everything inside processes, package managers, and then terminal thing, etc., file system. So this was overall the session, and if you have any doubts, don't worry. I think the last session was a bit much more to take just by looking at the screen, but don't worry, we'll be putting the content in just 1 to 2 days in the website, and then you can just try it out on your own, because I would say that like learning Vim is difficult at first, but if you do it, no one can defeat you after like 1 to 2 months after you're done with them. And about customization, yeah, if you're using like Linux in a VM, you won't need it much. But if you're using Linux on like a longer time of period and you're using it as your main machine, you surely need customization, which Samit talked about. So yeah, we'll put up the resources, and if you have any doubts, let us know, and we'll just wind up the session for now. Hope you enjoyed it.